See, the next topic we are going to study sulfates of alkali metals. Sulfates of alkali metals. Sulfates formed by alkali metals. See, basically all alkali metal form sulfate of type M2SO4 because alkali metal having cationic charge of +1. To balance the charge, two metal ions are required to balance the sulfate ion, which is SO4 2-. So we can say that all alkali metals can form sulfate of type M2SO4. And see the relation. Basically, as we can see that we know polarizing power. We know polarizing power is proportional to covalent character. Polarizing power is proportional to covalent character. As we can see that the anion in all sulfates are same. The anion in the case of all sulfates are same. Sulfate, 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 sulfate and sulfate. So anionic part is same. And the size of cation increases from lithium plus to cesium plus. We know polarizing power is proportional to covalent character. And covalent character, when cation is variable, then it is inversely a charge on the cation is same. So we will compare by the size of cation. See, as we can see that when the size of cation increases, means polarizing power increases. Therefore, due to increase in the size of cation, covalent character will decrease. And we know covalent character is inversely proportional to ionic character. So we can see that when the size of cation increases from lithium to cesium, size of cation increases, then covalent character decreases. And covalent character decreases, then ionic character will increase. So we can say that when we move from lithium to cesium, the ionic character of sulfates increases. So ionic character is highest for the cesium sulfate and lowest for the lithium sulfate. We can note the relation. As we know, the polarizing power is proportional to covalent character, and covalent character is inversely proportional to size of cation. Also we can say covalent character is inversely proportional to ionic character. So it is inversely proportional to ionic character. As we know that all metal sulfates, so basically all metal sulfates of alkali metals except lithium, all alkali metal sulfates combines with sulfates of trivalent metal. So basically all alkali metal sulfate except lithium combine with the sulfates of trivalent metals like Al3+, Cr3+, Fe3+, and form double salt. So basically double salts, these double salts we also called alums. We can see the example. Na2SO4 is a sulfate of alkali metal. When combines with the sulfate of trivalent ion, which is aluminium sulfate, because the charge on Al is +3. So it combines with alkali metal sulfate, combines with the sulfate of trivalent ion and having 24 water molecules as a water of crystallization. So basically this compound we called alum. While lithium does not form, because we know in case of lithium there is more covalent character. In case of lithium, due to small size, it has more covalent character as compared to ionic. Hence lithium do not form double salt, while other alkali metals with trivalent metals, they can form double salts, which we call alums. See the general formula for alums. So general formula of alums are basically MSO4. Here M stands for alkali metal. MSO4, metal sulfate of alkali metal. Alkali metal except lithium, means sodium can be used, potassium can be used, rubidium can be used, cesium can be used. While we take trivalent metal like Al3+, Cr3+, and Fe3+, and these sulfates, one sulfate of alkali metal and one sulfate of trivalent metal, is associated with X molecules of water, which is water of crystallization. So the general formula of alum is this one. Now we will see the halides of alkali metal. So now we are seeing the halides of alkali metals. See about the halides of alkali metals. See, all alkali metals exist in the form of MX halide. So basically all alkali metals exist in the form of MX halide. M is basically alkali metal. M is here alkali metal, and when the alkali metal halide is MX, then cationic part is M plus and anionic part is X minus. So the metal can be lithium, can be sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. See the preparation of this metal halide. When the alkali metal hydroxide, so metal can be lithium, can be sodium, can be potassium, can be rubidium, can be cesium. Reacts with hydrogen halide. So this compound is basically hydrogen halide. See, when the metal hydroxide of alkali metal reacts with hydrogen halide, so there is basically elimination of water molecule. So water molecule is removed and this metal combines with halogen and form halide of alkali metal of MX. See the example. Basically we are taking the hydroxide of sodium. When it combines with HCl, this is hydrogen halide. So water is removed and it forms a salt NaCl. So NaCl is a salt of strong base and strong acid. Now we will see the enthalpy of formation of halides of alkali metal. See, the enthalpy of formation of all halides of alkali metal is highly negative. So basically, if we know that if the enthalpy of formation is more negative, means highly stable is the compound. So if the enthalpy of formation for a compound is high negative, means the compound is very stable, very much stable. So enthalpy of formation of all halides of alkali metal is highly negative. So basically the enthalpy of formation of all halides of alkali metal is highly negative. See, M is alkali metal when reacts with halogen of half mole, because we know enthalpy of formation is basically the formation of 1 mole. The enthalpy of formation is defined as the formation of 1 mole of a compound from its constituent elements are in their standard form. So basically alkali metal standard form is metal solid and halogen standard form is X2, and there is formation of 1 mole of alkali metal halide. As the energy released in the process is more negative, when it is more negative means it is very much stable. So more negative means highly stable. So enthalpy of formation of all halides of alkali metal is highly negative, means more stable is halide, as negative is the enthalpy of formation. Now we will discuss about halides in two cases, one in fluoride and the next is other halides. So basically when we move from lithium to cesium in case of fluorides, like LiF and NaF and lithium fluoride, sodium fluoride, potassium fluoride, so up to cesium fluoride. So basically when we move from lithium to cesium in case of fluorides, the enthalpy of formation of fluoride becomes more and more negative. As we know, basically fluoride is highly electronegative element. So basically when we move from lithium to cesium, the enthalpy of formation of fluoride becomes more and more negative. See, for the other halides, the reverse is true. So basically when we move from lithium to cesium in case of other halides like chloride, for others like bromide, chloride and iodide, so in this case on we move from lithium to cesium, the enthalpy of formation becomes less and less negative. So in case of fluorides, due to high electronegativity, of fluorine, the enthalpy of formation of fluoride becomes more and more negative from lithium to cesium. While in case of other halides like bromine, chromine and chlorine and iodine, on moving from lithium to cesium, delta H of formation becomes less and less negative. Now see the melting points of halide. So now the next topic is melting point of halides. See the melting point of halides. Basically, for the same alkali metal, if we take like sodium, for the same alkali metal, if we combine sodium with fluorine and sodium with chlorine, NaF, NaCl, NaBr and NaI. So basically take the example of lithium. For the same alkali metal like lithium, so combination of lithium with fluoride, same alkali metal, combination of lithium with chloride, lithium chloride, combination of lithium with bromide, lithium bromide, and combination of lithium with iodide, so lithium iodide. As we can see that we will compare by the lattice energy. See, as we can see that the cationic part is same. While we compare the size of anion, so size of anion as group 17 elements increase from top to bottom, from fluorine to iodine. So the size of anion is basically smallest fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine and then iodine. As we can see, we know that lattice energy is proportional to the product of charge and inversely proportional to the radius of cation plus radius of anion square. As we see, the cationic part is same, so radius of cation is fixed, means lattice energy, and product of charge is also same, plus 1 minus 1 1 1 1 1, so product of charge is 1. It means lattice energy very inversely proportional to the radius of anion square. If the radius of anion increases, then lattice energy will decrease, and when lattice energy decrease, means melting point also decreases. So basically, when we are comparing the melting point of halide for the same alkali metal like lithium with fluorine, lithium with chlorine, lithium with bromine and lithium with iodine, size of anion increases while the size of cation is fixed. So due to increase in the size of anion, lattice energy decreases, and lattice energy in this case is proportional to, the melting point. As lattice energy decreases, melting point also decreases. Therefore, the order of melting point for the same alkali metal is highest for fluoride, then for chloride, then for bromide, then for iodide for the same alkali metal like lithium, like sodium, like potassium, like rubidium or like cesium. Now see, we have compared the case for same alkali metal. Now we will compare the case for same halogen and alkali metals are varying. See how we compare the melting point. So in this case for same alkali metal, the melting point is compared by the lattice energy. See the another case. The next case is for the same halide ion. So basically for the same halide ion, we know if we take the halide ion same, X is same like fluorine or chlorine or bromine or iodine. We can see when we compared on the basis of cation, as we know the lithium plus ion has very small size, and also due to small size of lithium positive ion cation, it has more polarizing power, and we know when polarizing power is more, means it has more covalent character, and we know lithium mostly compounds are covalent in nature. Due to small size of Li+, it has more polarizing power and more covalent character. So basically lithium halide has more covalent character. So lithium chloride will come in the last. As we know, due to the generation of covalent character in LiCl. While except lithium halide, In all, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all are ionic except lithium halide is covalent, while others are ionic. So for others we will compare the lattice energy. So basically the ionic character is least. So lattice energy least for LiCl due to generation of covalent character. So lithium chloride will come to last. Now compare the sodium halide, potassium halide, rubidium halide and cesium halide. See, in this case the size of anion is same and the product of charge is also same. So basically in this case lattice energy will vary inversely proportional to the radius of cation square. Because in this case radius of cation is varying, product of charge is 1 into 1 1 1 into 1. So basically product of charge same and radius of anion is also same. So radius of cation is varying. As we can see, smaller the radius of cation, higher is the lattice energy. If higher lattice energy means higher melting point. See, for chlorides, if we take only chlorides, so lithium chloride has lowest melting point due to covalent character, while others have ionic character. So we will compare by lattice energy. So radius of cation is smallest for sodium as size increases from sodium to cesium. So large size of cation means low lattice energy. So lattice energy decrease with the increase in size. So lattice energy decrease from sodium to cesium, and we know lattice energy is proportional to melting point. So NaCl has highest melting point, then KCl, then RbCl, then CSCl. In these four we have compared by lattice energy, and last lithium chloride has least melting point due to generation of covalent character in LiCl. Now we will discuss the another compound of alkali metal, which is hydroxides of alkali metal. Now see the another compound, hydroxides of alkali metal. See the hydroxide of alkali metals. Basically all alkali metals forms basic hydroxide. So all alkali metals can form basic hydroxide, and the type is MOH. Why the type is MOH? Because alkali metal can form unipositive ion and the charge on OH minus is also 1. Therefore all alkali metal can form basic hydroxide and the type of hydroxide is MOH. For example, LiOH, NaOH, KOH, RbOH, CSOH. And also when we move from lithium to cesium, we see OH remains same. So OH remains same means the negative part is same. So negative part is same as the OH part remains same. Now we can see when we move from lithium to cesium. Means size increases. So on moving from lithium to cesium, size of cation increases. So the size of cation increases. We can see basically this is lithium hydroxide, this is sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, Rb, rubidium hydroxide, cesium hydroxide. So this is basically metal and OH bond. If OH bond breaks easily, means more basic nature. So if OH bond losing tendency is easy, if OH minus is lose very easily, then basic nature is more. And we see the OH minus size is fixed, and the size of cation increases. So the size of cation increases. We see the size of anion is fixed, while the size of cation is increases. So this is basically metal and this is anion OH. As we can see that metal OH bond, so metal oxygen bond length increases. So metal oxygen bond length increases when we move from lithium to cesium. So metal oxygen bond length increases when we move from lithium to cesium, and we know bond length is inversely proportional to bond energy. So we can see the bond energy is highest for lithium hydroxide and bond energy is lowest for cesium hydroxide. So in cesium hydroxide, the tendency to lose OH minus is more, and if tendency to lose OH minus is more, means more basic nature. Therefore lithium hydroxide has least basic nature while cesium hydroxide has most basic nature. So basic nature increases from top to bottom due to increase in the size of metal ion. Due to bond length increases, bond energy decrease. So tendency to lose OH minus is more in cesium hydroxide. Therefore cesium hydroxide has most basic nature. Now see. So the basic character of hydroxides. The basic character of hydroxides will increase. So basic character of hydroxide increases down the group due to increase in the metal oxygen bond length. Due to increase in metal oxygen bond length, bond energy decreases. Tendency to lose OH minus is maximum in cesium hydroxide, and basic nature is proportional to tendency to lose OH minus. So lithium hydroxide is least basic and cesium hydroxide is most basic. Now we will compare their solubilities. See the solubility of hydroxides of alkali metal. Basically lithium hydroxide, we know mostly compounds of lithium having the covalent character. So basically lithium compounds having predominantly covalent character, and we know like dissolves like property. So basically due to covalent character, and also we can say lattice energy in this case is very high. Therefore if lattice energy is high, means high amount of energy is required to break Li-OH bond. So due to high lattice energy, lithium hydroxide is sparingly soluble in water, while other hydroxides are fairly soluble in water. See, so basically the solubility of Li-OH is sparingly soluble in water. Why? Due to high lattice energy of Li-OH, whereas all other hydroxides are soluble. Now we will compare the thermal stability of hydroxides. See the thermal stability of hydroxides. So basically, except lithium hydroxide, all hydroxides are stable. Except Li-OH, because Li-OH on heating decomposes into lithium oxide and water. So we have compared the basic nature of hydroxide, solubility and thermal stability. And also remember the thumb rule. For hydroxides. All these basic nature, solubility and thermal stability. Remember this thumb rule. Basic nature, solubility and thermal stability of hydroxides of alkali metal increase from top to bottom. Please remember this thumb rule. We have seen the explanation of each and every term, but remember this thumb rule: basic nature, solubility and thermal stability. All three properties of hydroxides increase from lithium to cesium. Now we will discuss about the sulfides of alkali metals. Sulfides formed by the alkali metal. See. So basically sulfides formed by alkali metals can be monosulfides. So basically in metal sulfide, if there is only one sulfur atom, then we call monosulfide. But if there are more than one sulfur atom in the metal sulfide, then we say X can be 2, 3, 4, then we call polysulfide. So basically two types of sulfides are formed by the alkali metal. One of them is monosulfide when there is only one sulfur atom. Another is polysulfide when there is more than one sulfur atom. See the formation of monosulfide. So basically when the alkali metal is burned in the sulfur vapors. So when alkali metal is burned in the sulfur vapors, then monosulfide of sodium is formed, which we call sodium sulfide. So basically when sodium is burned in the sulfur vapors, then sodium monosulfide is formed, Na2S, and the charge on sulfide is -2. Therefore it is balanced by 2Na plus ion. See the another method. The another method for the preparation of sulfide is at high temperature reduction of sulfates. So basically at high temperature the reduction of sulfates. So at high temperature reduction of sulfates, like for example, there is reduction of sodium sulfate by carbon. So carbon get oxidized into carbon monoxide, and sodium sulfate convert into sodium sulfate by the reduction of carbon convert into sodium sulfide. So basically at high temperature, when there is reduction of sulfates, when there is reduction of alkali metal sulfate with carbon, we get sodium monosulfide. Also another method is burning the metal in the sodium vapors. Now we will discuss about the polysulfides. See the cases of polysulfides. So polysulfide is basically when sulfur atom is more than 1, M2SX, X can be 2, 3, 4. So first method is for the preparation of polysulfide, again passing sulfur vapor. When we pass sulfur vapors through a solution of metal in liquid ammonia. So basically when a solution of metal in liquid ammonia, then pass sulfur vapors through it. So when sulfur vapors are passed through solution of metal in liquid ammonia, then polysulfides are formed. And polysulfides having zigzag sulfur chains. So polysulfide exists in the zigzag sulfur chains. For example, sodium sulfide, if polysulfide we say sulfur, 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 sulfur. So basically there is zigzag form of sulfur, sulfur chains. See, note one point which is very important. As we have seen the case of alkali metal, when alkali metal dissolved in liquid ammonia. When alkali metal is dissolved in liquid ammonia. See. So basically the reaction is when we have dissolved the alkali metal like M in X plus Y moles of ammonia. In X plus Y moles of ammonia. Then there is ammoniated cation X moles of ammonia with metal ion. And also electron is also associated with Y moles of ammonia. So electron NH3Y carrying -1 charge. This is ammoniated cation and this is ammoniated electron. So blue color of the solution is due to ammoniated cation, while the conductivity of the solution is due to both ammoniated cation as well as ammoniated electron. Now remember the point, when the concentration of solution is more than 3 molar, when the concentration of solution in liquid ammonia is more than 3 molar, then the deep blue color of the solution in liquid ammonia turns into a copper bronze solution. So when concentration is less than 3 molar, then only blue color of the solution is present due to this ammoniated electron. But when the concentration is more than 3 molar, then the blue color of the solution in liquid ammonia will change into copper bronze solution. So color changes when concentration of solution changes above 3 molar, and below 3 molar the solution will have blue color, and above 3 molar the color of solution changes from deep blue to copper bronze. So basically when concentration is more than 3 molar, what happens? In this case, when concentration is more than 3 molar, the two ammoniated electron pairs we can see, this is one of the electron, ammoniated electron, and this is another ammoniated electron. So these two electrons, when concentration is more than 3 molar, these two electrons will pair up with opposite spin. We can see the spin in opposite direction. So these two electrons, ammoniated electrons, will pair up. So when concentration more than 3 molar in the solution, two ammoniated electron will pair up with opposite spin, hence the solution becomes diamagnetic. So when concentration is less than 3 molar, then blue color of the solution which is paramagnetic, and when the concentration more than 3 molar, then color changes from deep blue to copper bronze, because the solutions become diamagnetic as the two electrons, Ammoniated electron will pair up with opposite spin.